Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shift Now for November 21st to November 22nd, 23rd, 2022. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Arlene Grace, and I am a spiritual coach, a master numerologist, conscious channel, and alchemist. And so, as you are landing in on the call, I'm just going to check in on what's going on in these spaces. As you are landing into the call, I'm going to invite you to say good morning. Hello, Carla. Welcome to Shift Now. And so we've moved into the energy of the heart, right? We've moved from the mind energy. And on Sunday, we moved into the heart, which is all about love. It's all about community. It's all about our relationships. It's all about connection. And we'll be journeying with the hearts and through the hearts all the way up until the end of November. And so last week on Saturday, we played with this energy of, okay, I am the queen, right? And I said the queen because everyone on the call at that time was female. And so whether male or female, it doesn't matter. Just to imagine we had put on our crown and we are now discovering that we are the authority of our life. We are the ones that are intuitive. We are willing to take action. We are willing to voice ourselves. We're willing to truly be ourselves, which is the privilege. It is a privilege to be ourselves in this world, right? Good morning, Shelley. And I'm going to invite you to play with me. I want to make this a little bit experiential as we are moving and starting to speak to today's energy. So we ended last week with putting on our crown, right? And so imagine yourself to be just putting on this crown. And so now you are the queen, you are your royal self, right? And feeling that energy of, okay, I am in self-autonomy. I am the master of my life. I am the author of my life. I am the one that chooses the edits, right? I create my story and I choose where I am going to edit, including those that are in my life. I can choose whether or not I'm going to have someone in my life or choose to no longer have an experience with them, right? And so as you are here and you are putting on your royal self by placing this crown onto your head, we're now in this energy today of the two Queen of Hearts, right? Now you can understand why I'm speaking to this royal self, Queen of Hearts, because the Queen of Hearts, imagine that in this moment here now, as you take a deep breath and come into the body, everything is available to you here now. All the love that you will experience in the future, all the love that you have experienced in the past, all of that is here now. All possibilities are here now, based on the frequency, based on the energy, based on your own focus. Yes? And so as you are here being your royal self, good morning, I'm going to invite you to imagine that in front of you, you have a mirror, right? And so you've got your crown on and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, yes? And as you are looking at yourself in the mirror, I'm going to invite you to smile. And just notice what you notice. Now, if you have a mirror in front of you, please feel free to go to the mirror. And now I'm going to invite you to frown. I'm going to ask you to shift your energy. So now you are in the energy of joy. And now we're going to switch and we're going to come into the energy of love. Imagine yourself to just be in love as you look at yourself in the reflection. Yeah. Good morning, Mocha. And so if you're just joining in the call, we're just imagining ourselves to be in front of the mirror and we're playing with frequencies. And so we're playing with the frequency of anger, mad, frowning, right? We're shifting into the frequency of joy and imagining what our face looks like as we shift that energy. We're then bringing it into the energy of joy. And finally, now to the energy of love, Queen of Hearts, love, all love being available now. Now, as you're looking at the mirror, Did you notice that your face changed? Yes. You reflected a frown, perhaps, or an angry face. You then reflected a face that showed joy. You reflected a face that expressed, love. Now notice that the reflection in the mirror took its cue from you. You cued the reflection. And so it reflected your state. It reflected your frequency. It reflected your beliefs. It reflected your own limitations. It reflected where you were in lack. All of those things were cued from you that was reflected in the mirror. So now let's imagine that we move the reflection out, and I'm going to invite you to call in your lover or your husband, or call in how you see money. Call in how you see your business, your job. All of those are reflections of you. They're taking its cue from your state, your emotions, your beliefs. And so if that's the case, are you willing to stop taking the cue from what you see? Because it's impossible for the reflection to shift until you do. Does that make sense? And so we begin this week in this energy of Queen of Hearts 2. How are you seeing yourself back to you? How are you seeing the love that you are emitting, the love that you have for yourself back in the reflection that you see in the mirror, back in the reflection that you see in your relationships, in your business, in the things that you do? Where are you taking your cue? Are you taking your cue from you? Move that out into your community, because as we continue to move through the hearts, we're now moving our energy into our social groups, into our communities, into our families. This is our journey this week. Will you bring it back to self? Because there's this beautiful opportunity to see that all is being created here now, but we are the chooser of our own experience. And it's all based on our frequency, on whether or not we love ourselves, on whether or not we love our life, and if we're willing to shift ourselves, right? Because as we're looking at these reflections, as we're receiving the cue back to ourselves, are you willing to transmute whatever triggers come? Are you willing to look in the face any comparisons, any judgments that you may be making, so that you can shift your own energy, you can shift your own beliefs, you can shift and be in awareness of your own patterns of thought, your own patterns of feeling? The Queen is asking you today, if you want to be seen, if you want to be heard, well, what is it that you want to be seen and heard for? Do you want to be seen for being this amazing coach in the world that provides value and provides all of these things? Well, look at yourself in the mirror, and do you see yourself to be that? If all you want to do is be heard by your partner, what is it that you want to be heard for? Do you want to be heard for being right? Do you want to be heard for trying to fix them? Do you want to be heard for trying to change them? Well, now you're taking your cue from what you see. And so are you willing to come back and to hear yourself? What is it that you're not hearing about yourself? Because we're playing with the natures of mirror, right? We're playing with mirrors this entire week, and this is where we begin. And so the willingness to have this awareness today, I'm calling this, mirror, mirror on the wall, right? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the whatever? This is Snow White, right? Who's the most beautiful of them all? Right? And so today, your key today is to see, will you choose? Will you choose to give life to your self-expression? How you see yourself, how you love yourself, how you value yourself? Or are you going to continue to go outside of yourself and take your cue from the reflection? Right? Hello, everyone. And so there's this willingness to do this from this conscious space. So if your eyes are still closed, I'm going to invite you to bring them back into that space. Close your eyes and imagine now you're seeing your reflection and you're seeing yourself in love. Now notice that you are conscious of that. You are aware of that. You are aware as you are seeing your reflection, right? In your imagination. Now, imagination, it predisposes that our imagination is also our consciousness. We are imagining ourselves to be in love with ourselves. We're feeling that energy, it's moving through our body. And so now we are imagining these things that are inspiring us into action. And so if you are imagining these things, then really how you are interpreting these cues, how you are interpreting the experiences that you're having in your life is also your imagination that is coming into your awareness. It is your consciousness. Does that make sense? And so if you can amp up your imagination this week, as we start to move into the full moon, there's this opportunity to, or this new moon on Wednesday, there's an opportunity to discover a new intention. And this new intention may be, it feels as though we're being invited to a new intention that may be more simple, right? Letting go of the smoke and mirrors idea. And so letting go of the idea of, if your intention is to have great wealth, it's letting go of the idea that it's only going to come in these certain ways. How about you just play with the energy of wealth and expand your own imagination, right? Because now as we move into Tuesday, we're moving into this amplification energy. So we had this awareness today of how am I seeing myself? Because everywhere I go, I see me. If everywhere I go, I see me, which can include the sunsets, which can include the beautiful, starlit sky, which can include the moon, which can include the person at the supermarket, which can include all of the kids as you're picking up your child and you see all of the children running out because the school bell rings. All of them are an aspect of you because you are this infinite being that has all of these beautiful facets. You're all of it. And so as we move into Tuesday, we come into this amplification with this Jack of Hearts, right? We come into 3 Jack of Hearts. Now we're being invited to accept all of us, to accept the wholeness of who we are, to accept that we are loved, to accept this deepened sense of love, to accept our life, to love our life, and to notice those places where we may be continuing to put others ahead of us, to sacrifice ourselves for the things that we truly, for love. Are we sacrificing an aspect of ourselves in order to attain love? And so to notice that on Tuesday, to notice those places where you might be, I'll give you an example. I mean, I had a conversation, this is years ago, with my mom, and my mom was going through retirement, and she's like, I just want to live my life. Like, I want to do the things. I want to travel. I want to live the life that I sacrificed for you because I decided that I was going to work and I was going to pay for your education. And I was going to do all of these things. And now it's my time. I was like, that's right, Mom, it is your time. And you made those decisions. You didn't sacrifice. You decided to do those things for me. Right? You made a decision. And so in these places, we get to notice what we've decided. What have you decided to do for your children before yourself? What have you decided to do for your lover before yourself? What have you decided to do for your clients before you've given it to yourself? Again, reflections and mirrors. Because we're being asked to give to ourselves first, then others. So in this, there's an opportunity to amplify that out and to choose you. What do you decide? Right? So your key today is to notice We're coming into this deeper understanding of as above, so below, as within, so without. As we're starting to see these reflections of people in our lives who are now mirroring the love that we have for ourselves. Always. That's the thing. They are always mirroring back the love that we have for ourselves, the value that we have for ourselves, where our thoughts are, where we're focused. Always. And so, as we're starting to see these reflections, we're being invited to see, okay, well, what is it? What is that frequency that I have been focused on within my own body? Because we cannot fool energy, ever. We can try, but it never works. And so, we're also being invited to notice these places where we might be trying to control our own creations, our own manifestations. And so we start to try to orchestrate what the universe is orchestrating for us. Does that make sense? I used the example last week of just receiving all of this money, right? Someone had offered to give me $50,000 and I could see that it was falling away. It wasn't happening. It wasn't my job to try to control whether or not that money was going to come my way. My job was to stay in full trust and in the frequency of that wealth, the wealth that I had moved out into the world that was coming back to me. And in that, staying with that frequency, staying in that energy, staying in trust that the world was going to world in front of me, that I didn't have to do a thing except stay focused on that energy and take any inspired actions. It came from another person, not her. And so there's this opportunity on Tuesday to allow the world to worlds, because as you're coming into this awareness today of noticing the mirrors, noticing if you're taking a cue outside of yourself from what you're seeing, right? If you're looking at your bank account and you're thinking, oh my God, like it's at this certain amount and it's not making me happy. If you're taking your cue from what you see, which is a past manifestation, that is your past. That is not here now. You're just getting the information and the feedback of where your frequency was. Are you willing to shift your own frequency, shift out of the trigger by facing it, feeling it, freeing it, so that you can continue to move forward? And as you continue to move forward in that frequency of love, of wealth, of value, you continue to now play so that those past creations start to come forth as feedback, just information. Right? So today we get to discover, or Tuesday, you get to discover what is it that I have been playing with this frequency, right? Because this whole point of mirroring is to allow for you to know what you are creating and in which direction you want to go. That's why it's here. It's here to offer you the feedback and the information. As we move into Wednesday, we're now moving into an energy of one, the new moon. And so this is a beautiful day for you to notice, to discover your own intentions. Now, it really feels like, as I'm feeling into this group, it really feels as though this intuition or this intention is not coming from here, right? It's not going to come from what you see. You're not going to, I'm going to imagine some of you and some of us, we might look at our bank account, for example, and we're going to be like, I'm inspired to play with the energy of wealth, right? But we're not coming it from a place of, I need to fix it. It's, I see this energy is now showing me that I don't enjoy this frequency, this energy that I'm playing with. And so it's inspiring me to feel into wealth. I'm seeing my relationship. I'm deepening. I want a deeper connection. I want a deeper communion, unification with my lover. And so I'm seeing this experience. I'm calling that energy in here now. This is what I want. I want communion. I want unification. I want connection. And so I'm going to feel this energy and I'm going to move that out through my own vibratory field so that I can start to experience that with others mirrored back to me. I start to receive me back to me. That love that I'm putting out is coming back to me because it is me. It's just coming home. So on Wednesday, with this intention, whatever that is, you're being asked to go higher, right? Because as you journey this week, there's going to be a deeper sense of fulfillment. There's going to be a deeper sense of, oh, I love me even more, right? As you start to journey and experience everyone in your life, how you see yourself in the mirror, whether or not you're judging or comparing or just expressing love, by Wednesday, you'll have deepened that love for you. And so as you deepen into this new sense of love, you're going to create more, it feels like an anchoring energy. You're going to anchor into that energy. You're going to shift the frequency within your own body, which is at a cellular level. And it's going to move out into your world that will now create changes in your relationships, in the dynamics, in how you're seeing your life altogether, which will now bloom and blossom a new intention. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't continue to play with the intentions that you have in your life now. This is simply a new one. And I'm going to be curious for you as to whether or not this new intention is actually opening up to envelop your entire life. You know what I mean? Like, we're not just moving into an energy of wealth because of what I see in my bank account. I want to play with wealth so that I can see wealth in every single aspect. I can see wealth in my well-being. I can see wealth in my relationships. I can see wealth as I'm driving my car. I can see wealth as I'm looking at people at the supermarket. I can see wealth in my children. I see wealth in my partner. I see me. And so it's a beautiful energy that we're really moving through up until the end of November. And it's this journey. Are you willing to see yourself? And where are you willing to take a cue from? Will you take the cue because you are the orchestrator? You are the creator. If you are the creator that's creating these reflections, and these reflections are taking a cue from you because that's the only way it works, then it's your choice, always. Your choice to shift, your choice to choose something more, your choice to face it. It's all you. It all begins with you. And so I am absolutely excited for this week. I'm excited for everybody here. It feels as though there's this introspection that begins, and then you go out and you experience it. You come back, you reflect a little bit, you go out there and you experience it. And all the while, you're allowing yourself to release control of how you're experiencing your life, how you might be experiencing others in your life, because you're coming into this place of peace, right? I come to peace with my life because I love it. I start to see that I cannot control others. I cannot control my experience, that I can't micromanage the universe. The universe is 99.999 infinite percent more than what we can see. And so I would rather allow it to be and to work on my behalf than to try to put it into something where I'm going to imagine the universe, God, creator, has more in store for us, right? And so I hope that this made sense. It was such an interesting energy that started to come through last night as I was going to bed. Yeah. So I'm curious with all of you, how was your weekend? You know, what did you experience? What did you do? And what questions do you have? I'm curious if you've already started to feel into and notice the intentions that are starting to come through this week in lieu of this new moon, right? I'm curious as to what questions you have. Yeah, it does feel like the queen is coming home, right? Or that the queen is discovering that home was always here and home was always inside, right? Which I think is a beautiful energy. It feels like the mother. It feels soft. Yeah. So I would love to hear your questions. I was treated, oh, I love that, Janine. I was treated like a queen. Of course you were. Yeah. You had your birthday weekend, which is beautiful. So, hello. Let's see. I'm really feeling the heart opening over the past few days. Absolutely. Today I went to today at the gym. I hurt my lower back tailbone from trying to lift heavy. Yeah. What's the message here for me, aside from knowing that it's not what I do that creates the thing I want, i.e. exercise equals the body I want, and listening to my body more. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like the moment I was started reading this, I felt the 10 of clubs. And at the same time, I know that you are the 10 of clubs. And it's fascinating because I'm curious as to what your thinking was. If we were to look at the chart and dive in, the Mercury for today is 10 of clubs. And so as you were going to the gym and you were going to work out, which I'm going to imagine is your normal routine, what was your thinking as you were going to the gym, as you were setting up, as you were going to start to lift? Where were your thoughts going? And what is it that you were focused outside of you is kind of where I'm going with this, or what's coming through. Yeah, fascinating. Because the 2 of clubs is coming up, and the 2 of clubs is like, do you see you? And 2 clubs is always going to, do you see you? Do you see where you're focusing your energy? Do you see there are some nuances? When I look at you, like there's like these two little threads of where you're going outside of yourself in order to attain the wholeness of who you are. And so they could be the actions that you're taking at the gym. It almost feels as though, I'm not sure if you can feel there's a bit of fear that's rising up from the belly and it's coming up. There's almost a fear of, what if there's a resistance and a fear to doing what it is that you actually want to do, in how you want to do it, and changing it up physically, like through your own actions, through how you're lifting, because it's outside of everyone else's box. And so I'm curious if, as you went to the gym today and you were setting up and you were, getting your weights on and onto the whatever, you know what I'm talking about, the thing. And as you were doing all of those things, were you thinking that people were watching you, or were you watching others? And as you were then lifting, like I'm feeling the lower back, and the lower back's like, support me first. And so in listening to the body, your back, your like the lower back is the message of the lower back is, support me in your thinking first before you go and lift. And so it's an interesting, I feel like you and I have played with this experiment before, where to experiment with feeling the energy of love, to feel the energy of value, to feel the energy of well-being as you are at the gym, and then allow that to inspire you into your next lift, and then to put it down, and then to feel it again, to almost be cueing as you're working out and feeling that frequency, and then noticing how you're experiencing the weight itself, to play with the experience of, okay, so I'm going to lift 55 kilograms. And as I'm lifting 55 kilograms and I'm feeling this energy that's moving through my body, the frequency of well-being, the frequency of strength, the frequency of me, as I feel that, as I play with it and I lift, and isn't that interesting? It felt easy. Great. Put that down. And then you go and you either lift higher or you lift lower. Like you play with that to notice the weights, to notice how you're experiencing the body, so that you can hear the messages from the body. I feel like there's something that's shifting in the way that you work out. And I feel like you've known this for some time. And in the shifting in the way that you're working out, you're being invited to realize that there is no box. You're actually getting on top of the box. And it's not to say to others, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've experienced. This is what I'm changing it all up, and so come and work with me. It's, I'm doing this for me. I'm getting up on the not the soapbox. I'm getting up on the box for me, because this box is like, it's me. Like, this is the box. I am the box. I am this physical form, and I am here to just model me. I'm just here to be me. This is how I do the thing. And if people want to see that, they're going to see that. Right. And so again, like the 4 of clubs is showing up as this idea, this box, right? There is no box. You're shifting the way that you're doing things for you and for you only. And are you willing to do that? So I feel like the Four of Clubs is coming in to say there's a new way of doing things. You're going to play, you're going to experiment, you're going to experience as a physical manifestation in your own body. But it begins with you seeing you first, you deciding what it is you want to experience first, energetically, frequency, and then you being inspired into the actions. And by doing that, you support you first, you support the body. So I hope that that is making sense for you. Hope that resonates. Will next month be a better month for being unmotivated and stagnant? Interesting. So the energy of the month, this energy, we have the energy of the 8 this month. And so the energy of the 8 is allowing for us to, one of the themes, to come into discovering our own power, discovering where we may be giving parts of ourselves up in order to be loved, in order to be validated. It's an energy of discovering our own self-authority. It's also this energy that's inviting us to collapse the idea of polarity, good versus bad, mean versus nice, black versus white. We're being invited to see the wholeness of life and that everything just belongs. And so you can feel the momentum of that. And I'm curious if you're feeling the momentum of that as an inner action, right? I'm curious if you're feeling the motivation from within you to shift in your own perception of how you see yourself and how you see life, which may not necessarily look as a physical action. And so we sometimes see our inner action as less than a physical action because we don't see the tangible, but really and truly, the amount of physical action that we're meant to be taking in the world is 20%. It's actually 80% inner work, 20% inspired action. And so I'm just going to invite you to pull back and to come into that awareness for yourself, right? Because next month, as we move into the 9, we're moving into an energy of surrender, of let go, of release. It'll be an interesting month that feels like, I don't know, it feels like big change next month. So as you're doing that, as you're feeling into yourself, just notice, have I gone on an inner journey? And then notice as you are feeling into this inner journey, notice if I feel like there's a place where you haven't yet decided, like as I feel into your heart, there's something that you truly want to experience, but you haven't yet decided that you're going to have and allow yourself to have that experience. And so coming back into, okay, whatever this experience that it is that you want, to come back into, okay, what does that experience feel like? What would it feel like to have, I don't even know, just feeling into you a little bit. I feel like what would it feel like to just have unconditional love in my life? What would that feel like to be flowing in my body? How would my life look if I actually experienced unconditional love? What if I loved myself unconditionally? And if I loved myself unconditionally, am I willing to move through that journey? Am I willing to decide, I'm going to love myself unconditionally? I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know what that means, but I'm willing to decide it and take a journey with it. And that decision and that feeling, that flow of energy moving through you will inspire you into action. It will allow for you to have a choice. But this feeling of stagnant is because there hasn't been a choice that's been made yet. Yeah. What wants to be shined upon in this dark of the new moon? Ooh. Oh, I just had it. I just had the Queen of Clubs here, and it went into the deck. I laugh because you're a Queen of Clubs. I now know that. Let's see. What wants to be shined upon in this dark of the new moon? It's interesting. My nose is all itchy and it's feeling irritated. There's an irritation. There's an irritation that's rising up for you. An irritation. There's an irritation that's rising up for you, and an irritation that you did not yet see. Like you didn't see was an irritation, but now that you've been doing all of this work, I don't know if you can feel it. Like it's rising up through the throat and it's moving out the nose. You didn't see it as an irritation before. You saw it as, I just do it. Like I just decided I had to do it to get it out of the way. It's almost like this energy of, I don't know if you've ever asked your kids to do the dishes. I used to do that all the time. I want that they need to learn how to do the dishes. I need them to, to be self-sufficient. And so I'd get them to wash the dishes and I'd watch them because I'd be controlling their experience. And I would get irritated because they weren't doing it the way that I was doing it. Which is this Queen of Hearts energy, right? This Queen of Hearts energy is like, will you allow yourself to receive from life? Here you are, and you made a decision. You decided that you were going to have it. You decided to give your children self-autonomy, and you're letting them learn. And so will you just receive from life the gift that they are actually doing the dishes? You see that? The irritation is starting to settle. And so this is what's rising. You're starting to notice all of the little things that irritated you. It's not like big irritations. It's just these little things that are just wanting to get cut for you in your experience so that you can just receive from life. Yeah. And so your result is a 7 of spades, which is, you're trusting. You're trusting that all is well. You're trusting that everything that you've been desiring is falling into place. You're trusting the 99% of what you cannot see to just come into form. You're trusting that you've made the right decisions, that you've created the intentions that you've felt the inspired intentions, that you've decided to go the right path. And so it's just allowing. It's almost like I feel like at the same time you're waiting for people to come in, like to work with you, clients and all of these things. And it's like trust that you've taken the inspired actions. If you've taken the inspired actions, that all is coming forth. And so stay true to the frequency, to what it is that you're wanting to experience, and allow that to happen for you. And in this allowing and the release of these irritations, you'll come into a deeper sense of wisdom. There's something else that will come once this transmutes. And I think that this is already starting to for you. Yeah. Yes. Today is the start of new beginnings. It does certainly feel like that, right? Like I feel like it's because we've shifted from so much mind energy, Carla, into the hearts that it feels new. It feels different. It feels as though we're being prepped for the end of the year. Like there's something that's in store for us to see, something for us to experience that will lead into like the new year with like a bit of a bang, like a bit of oh, I see this, and now I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna do something different. Oh, I love that. I went to the cabin in the forest and allowed nature to hold me. Oh, that's so beautiful. Feeling so much love and softening in my body, surrendering and allowing to be nurtured. I love that. That's beautiful. Really beautiful. Fiona. Yes, I'm feeling this. I would love a card as a guidance for next week. Absolutely. For this next week. Ooh, I feel like things have kind of like from last week for you, as I'm looking through your eyes, like life like kind of like pivoted around you and you've come into this direct focus. Like I feel like you've come into this deeper sense and certainty of you know what you want, which I think is beautiful. I'm just going to allow some energy to move up. And at the same time, I could feel that as you've come into this focus, there's something that's like there's an energy that's just wanting to release. with that. So we're just allowing it to move up through the spine, up through the lungs, and out through the throat. Yeah. Keep loving yourself. Keep focusing on the love. Devote yourself to loving yourself this week. Come to this place with love where you love so much in your body that you just feel these waves, like there's just more. Like the more you love, the more love there is to feel. And so the Ace of Hearts is inviting you on a deeper journey to play with the energies that are playing this week, right? So as a layer to love yourself so much, to bring this into practice a couple times a day, to just notice. It's like this, like I see you waking up in the morning, and before you get out of bed, you just place your hand to your heart and you just feel the energy of love moving through you so much, like feeling yourself so much that you can't help but express that out into the world as you begin your day. And then coming back to that every couple of hours through the day, to come back and to feel that energy of love and allow that to inspire you. I feel like there's a new way that you'll be expressing yourself. There's this there's this beautiful energy of grace and elegance that's coming through with this energy of love as it flows through. And your result of that by the end of the week is this beautiful anchoring in, like you start to feel the flow of love in through your body, and you start to experience it in your life, in the wholeness of your life. And so you'll start to see little snippets as feedback, as information coming back to you to say, oh, I see where I loved and nurtured this part of my business, and I can see how it's loving me back. And oh, I can see how I love and nurtured myself in the experience that I'm having here, and it's now shifting my living conditions. I can see where I loved myself so much, and it's actually now allowing for this amplification of money into my bank account. There's a beautiful flow that comes in as you journey with that. So I really love that for you, Fiona. Katie, definitely have been feeling a deeper love for myself. Beautiful. I really feel the love for me now, and it feels so good. It has been a long journey. My question is with my marriage. So much change has occurred in myself, and my husband has made so many changes as well. Beautiful. Looking to lean into trust and give this relationship my all. Despite the fear, I feel walls I still have up in regards to a deeper connection with him. Is it safe to let go and to give this relationship a rebirth? Or has my contract with, okay, there's no more words. Or has my contract with him come into completion? Got it. Okay, so there's just some energy that's moving up. So we're going to allow, I don't know if you can feel, there's some energy in the heart that's wanting to just rise up. You might be coughing as it comes up. There's a bit of resistance. You're right. Like there's these walls that are starting to rise up in the heart. And I feel like there's this deep fear of vulnerability, with this idea that to be vulnerable is to be insecure. If I am vulnerable, I will be taken advantage of. And so we're just allowing that insecurity to rise up. Vulnerability is a beautiful energy. It's this place for us to expand and to grow. And so let's see what card comes up. I really feel, yeah. So 4 clubs, there's this invitation to come into the flow of how you are communicating yourself out into the world, how you're communicating yourself with others. The 4 clubs is saying that the way in all of these changes that you've made, in coming into a deep sense of love with yourself, there's been a resistance in expressing it out with others. There's been this holding back in how you express, and the holding back in how you express, it has a little bit of fear because you think that you won't be understood, or you think that you won't be seen as the same. It's almost like you've made all of these changes, but there's still that part of you in the past that wants to be the same, i.e., the same way of relating or the same way of being in relationship. But the same way that you're wanting to be in a relationship is way back here, when you first connected, had the kid, like before you had the kids. And so the desire to bring this in the past, that almost that, I'm going to call it this, but right, the energy of that honeymoon stage, you're wanting to bring that honeymoon stage here now. And there's a little bit of confusion that's happening with that, because you're now questioning yourself, is that a dream or is that a fantasy? And so you're being invited to let go of that idea, to let go of the idea that you can bring this honeymoon period here, because you're both not the same person. And so your invitation is to come back to, okay, let's look at the energy of the honeymoon period that I'm wanting to have in my experience with my partner. What was the frequency? What was the energy there? I could hear you, like there was newness, and there was this spiciness, and there was this attraction, and there was this, there was that, the newness. I feel like there's this caught up, there was that newness. And through your journey here with all of the newness, and with the children, with getting married, having a house, all of these things, both of you had shifted a lot of the karma. A lot of your patterns have shifted. A lot of your patterns have changed. And so many of us in this experience, as our patterns change, we start to think that because we're not attracted in the same way, that the relationship must be falling away. But you're actually being invited to just choose. Do I want to have this relationship? And what is the underlying energy underneath it? What is the frequency that I'm willing to play with, so that I can bring him or invite him into playing in this experience with me? And so the relationship rebirth begins with you. You are rebirthing in letting go of what you want from the past. You're letting go of that and allowing that to rebirth into something more expanded. In our relationships, as the karma starts to shift, as we start to see our patterns and we start to shift the dynamic in the relationship by clearing our own karma, we start to diffuse the energy that had brought us together in the first place, the energy of newness that's back there. And that isn't here anymore, because you're not mirroring each other in such a way where you're feeling the fight or flight energy that sometimes we get attracted to, or that addictive quality of that energy that we sometimes love, right? You've shifted through the drama into this place of, this place of realization of, I'm coming into a deeper sense of relationship. I'm redefining relationship for myself. And so the rebirth is in how you're defining the relationship, in the letting go of the idea that you can bring that here with you, into the discovery of what it is that you're wanting to truly experience for yourself first, and then in relationship with your partner, and allowing yourself to move through that journey this week, because there's a shifting out in perception. Like, this is resulting in a shifting of your own perception so that you can upgrade your relationship. But the relationship upgrade is going to begin with you first. So this introspection begins with you, then a decision of, do I want to share this in relationship with my partner? And then move that out, right? Only you are going to know. And so, I think this is beautiful for you. I hope that resonates for you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, Maria. I don't know if you put in an intention for your card, but let's see. We'll just pull a general card. Yeah, you're welcome, Katie. Beautiful. Wonderful. Love that for you. All right, Maria. Let's see. I was feeling into your question. I feel like your question has to do with business, and feels like it has to do with the vision that I saw was you're wanting to move out, you're wanting to acquire wealth, and you're seeing these different streams of opportunities that are available for you, but you're kind of feeling the resistance to that. And so in feeling that energy and seeing that as your vision, there's this invitation to pull back into taking a higher overview of what it is that you want to experience. It feels as though you're focused on the, like, you're focused on the 3D, meaning you're focused on the pathways, as in there's a pathway of an MLM here, and there's a pathway of coaching here, and there's a pathway of community and connection with others that is over here. And so as I see all of these pathways, which are the pathways that I'm going to choose? Which one is going to give me the most wealth? Which one is going to give me the most fun? Which one is going to give me the most impact? Like, what is it that I desire? And the invitation is to not to see the pathways as A, B, C, but to pull back and to see it, have an overview of your life. And to, as you're having an overview of your life, to come back into the frequency of what is it that I want to experience. If what I'm wanting to experience is wealth, then am I willing to let go of how I'm seeing these pathways that are available and just trust the frequency and the energy of wealth, so that I can be intuitively guided into which path? And am I willing to play with the possibility that my path may not be A, B, or C, that there's actually something that I'm not seeing? And so you're being invited to pull back into the observer of your life, to be the witness, and to notice what's happening in your life, to come into better discernment of what your frequency is, what it is that you're wanting to experience. I feel like on this journey through this week, as we come into the new moon, your intention might shift, because you're coming into awareness of, I'm taking everything too much as face value. I'm taking everything too personally. And so as I come back into the observer of my life, I will possibly experience new information that I had not yet discovered, not yet seen. And so that will allow for me to to create stability, not only with my frequency. So as you were looking at these different pathways, your frequency was shifting. There's an MLM business that I could begin. That doesn't make me feel good. There's the coaching that oh man, that lights me up. There's the community and the connection that I have that makes me scared as fuck. And so it's almost like there's this taking things personally as you come back and you release the triggers by facing it, feeling it, freeing it. You get a higher perception of, hold on, there actually might be something more that's available, which is now going to create more stability with your own frequency, so that you're not taking life personally, and so that you are maintaining the frequency of the essence of you, the wealth that you're moving through, and a different outlook in how you're observing your life. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's awesome. Let's see. Dina, I'm waiting on a response from a job for an extension next year, or a full-time OPP, and looking to an investment to pay down debt, but on hold to withdraw. Is the outlook of these positive? So the cards don't give the cards, though we can forecast with the energies It's energies that are being invited in to support us. Beautiful. Oh, Jada, hi. And so the cards will not give you a yes or no. Sometimes they can, but at the same time, they are working to allow for you to see the energy of what is supporting you so that you can see you. The cards are always going to bring you back to you, to notice what resistance, to notice where you're focused, to notice what you're loving, to notice what you're valuing. And so we're going to pull a card to see what energy is supporting you and to feel into what else is coming through. Awesome. I'm waiting on a response from a job. Yeah. Holds withdraw. So I can feel already that there's this energy in your stomach it's like this griping energy that's holding on. And there's this anticipation, there's this excitement, but there's also this intense fear of what if this doesn't work out? And so the Two of Clubs is coming in. The Two of Clubs is saying, ooh, take a breath. I'm going to invite you to take a breath first, because I could feel the energy is just wanting to move. Underneath all of that, there's anxiety that's rising up. And so I can hear the anxiety with all of these thoughts of, well, how am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do next year? Where am I going to live? What am I going to do? What about my kids? What about all these things? And we're going to allow the anxiety to rise up as you come back into the body, and just invite yourself to take a deep breath. Come back here now. Allow yourself to settle. Okay. So when we look at the Two of Clubs, the Two of Clubs is asking you, what do you want? It feels as though you're waiting for life to tell you what to do. And the Two of Clubs is asking you to come back here to you. You are the decider. What do you want? What do you want to experience? What is it that it feels like? This is not, we're coming back here to you because we're wanting to play with the idea of, what if there was nothing to fix? What if there was nothing broken? But because the pattern of, oh, there's this mess here, so I have to sweep it up, and there's this mess here and I have to sweep it up, you've been focused on looking for where to put out the fires first before actually discovering what it is that you want, what it is that you want to experience, the love that you have, that is you, the value that you have, that is you. And so we can feel that there's another wave of anxiety that's rising up. And so take a deep breath. Everything's going to begin with you. And so if you just landed into the call mid-call, I'm going to invite you to watch the replay and to play with the exercise that we went through in the morning, or in the beginning, with mirrors, right? You are the person, you are the chooser of your own experience. And so if you can come back to discover what it is that you want, what it is that you want to experience, what it is that it feels like, and to be willing to play in, I'm going to commit to that. I'm going to decide to allow myself to have that. I'm going to journey with this experience. And so if that's going to be wealth, what does wealth feel like in my body? If that's going to be self-love, what does self-love feel like in my body? What does love feel like in my body? What does wealth feel like in my body? And I'm willing to feel that energy flowing through my body so that I can start to experience that mirrored back in my relationships. So I can start to see that mirrored back in my physical experiences. And so coming back into this so that you become the authority in your life. You are the chooser. Your result is coming into this beautiful King of Hearts energy. Like, you start to journey into this mastery of self, this mastery of your own emotions, this opportunity to discover that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, that all of that is feedback, that is allowing for you to see you more. It's allowing for you to see where you decided to put someone before you, or you decided to choose something because it was told to you. It's this journey of self-discovery where you can't help but fall in love with yourself more and more. And so I'm excited for you. I'm really excited for you. Yeah. Awesome. Let's do one more. Mocha. I've come to notice a resistance to the heart energy. My intention is to find expansion and release of the resistance. I get loving myself more, but curiosity of cards. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Feels like an emotional week, not just for you, but the week itself as we journey through the hearts. Feels like an emotional week. Heart opening for sure. And so let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Dina. 5 of Clubs. So the 5 of Clubs is coming in to invite you to, it's inviting me right into the center of your brain, which is interesting. So when I look in the center of your brain, I can see it almost like, the command center. It's the command center. I see a computer and I can see all of these lights blinking and all of these things. And as this energy is moving out through the center of your brain, it's now electrifying, or I can see the electric currents going from through all of these neurons to different parts of your brain, which is now moving out through your body, and it's activating different parts of your body. And it's interesting because it activates one piece and then your arm lifts up and it activates another piece and you take a footstep with your right foot. And so as I come and I ask the 5 of Clubs, what the fuck are you saying? There's a little bit of a glitch that's happening in the command center where there's this pattern. And so the 5 of Clubs is inviting a pattern interrupt. Right. You're not going to know it all. You're not going to have all of the information. You're not going to, and when it says like, you're not going to have it all, you're not going to have all the information, it means that you're not going to find all of the information from all of the books, all of the courses, all of the lives, all of the places. You're not going to find it. You're going to get a wealth of information. You're going to get a wealth of knowledge. There's going to be wisdom there all for you. And it's lots of fun. Yes. And you're not going to get all of it there because all of it's here. All of the information that you're requiring is here. And to use all of the information that you're receiving from all of the lives, all of the courses, all of the books, all of the things as a beautiful piece of feedback. It's a mirroring tool, to use everyone as a tool. And so I feel like it's this invitation for you to question. So you have all of these beautiful questions and all of these beautiful curiosities, and the invitation to play with the curiosity, to mirror it back by just expressing it out, and to allow life to happen for you so that it shows you the answer. It's almost like you're being invited to play with the divine. You ask a question, you receive the answer. Now, the receiving of the answer may come from a live, it may come from a book, it may come from, oh, go watch this sequence here. But at the same time, allow yourself to be directed from it. Allow yourself to see the magic of what it is that you're creating in your life. Let the universe play with you. And so I think that's exciting, right? The result is 6 of Diamonds. Like let the world with you. And so as you have this curiosity, let the world come into form to give you the results of your curiosities. I think that's brilliant. Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today, joining me live. Happy Monday. Wishing you all the most amazing week. And I will see you on Thursday. Thank you so much. Lots of love. And I will see you in the spaces. You're welcome, Mocha. Mwah. Bye for now.